Welcome, bored and disaffected scout troopers, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Todd.
And tonight we are almost ready to close up our chat on season 1 of The Mandalorian.
So close.
With the first episode of an epic 2-part finale, Chapter 7, The Reckoning.
Perfect title, too.
Amazing.
It is. This episode really, I mean, if you consider that the middle 3 didn't really live up to the expectations from the first 3 episodes, this one really brings you back and brings you back hard into essentially the through story that we've been telling throughout the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
But also it starts picking up all the pieces that it had dropped along the way.
Yeah. It did. There's an awful lot to unpack in this episode. I love the whole bit where now I got to start pulling up names again because I'm just terrible at that. So
just put random syllables together and you'll find a Star Wars name eventually.
So Carl Weathers.
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga.
Yeah, Grief. So he comes up and asks. He makes a proposition to Mando that you come back with the child and you can eradicate the client, then the Empire will just simply go away and leave us alone. So
we got more of that like fantastic Grief Karga, like just over elaborate like speaking. I mean, his form of speaking was just second only to the client.
Well, okay, so here's and I don't know how unpopular an opinion this will be.
Very.
About Carl Weathers in this one. He is both simultaneously working his ass off on this character and is simultaneously the worst lead actor in this entire thing.
Agreed. I agree with you.
But his line delivery, especially and it was really this evident in this episode, just how I just feel like just in terms of overall acting, it's really out of his league compared to everybody else.
But for some reason it works. Like that, and that's the crazy thing about this show is that it shouldn't really work. Right. And he's a part of that. And I'd like to call him petition to call him Apollo Grief. I don't know if that works. But it's just a continuation of they all hate you, Mando. They hate all of them. It's a continuation of that in this episode, and it works. And I don't know, it has no right to work as well as it does.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. He overacts something fierce, but it is so. I mean, any other character in this entire show doing that, except for Werner Herzog, which we'll get to later. Any other person like overacts like this and be like, "What the hell is he doing?"
Yeah.
When Grief Karga, we know Carl Weathers does it, it doesn't work, but it works.
Yep. As an actor, it gives me a little bit of like, what are you doing? But as a Star Wars fan, I'm fine with it.
Exactly. If you go back and you watch episode 4 again of Star Wars, not episode 4 of The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Chapter 4.
Think about just kind of how laughable some of the acting is in that movie from some of our favorite characters. I mean, Leia's accent goes in and out on a dime, which, just goes to show that even, someone who's making it up as he goes along, like George Lucas was in that movie, still made a memorable, great movie.
That's true.
But then we go through the whole you son of a bitch, I'm in sequence of Mando having to recruit Cara Dune and Queel. And it was just like,
here we go.
Yeah, he's got to get put together a crew. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And along comes Amy Sedaris and the
seriously.
Just get everybody back. Come on, let's do it.
Hey, they got IG-11 back, and that the sequence of him learning to do everything again, that was just
perfect.
It was needed. You needed to see that. So there wasn't from that point on there. I didn't feel like there was ever going to be a point where IG-11's core prime programming is going to kick in. It's like, I must destroy the child now. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was truly reformed, and that made him a more interesting character.
Yeah.
Not just reformed, he was reborn, basically.
Reborn. Yeah. Reprogrammed entirely. And I thought that was great because, knowing that it was Taika voicing the character, and that's always good for me. And I was like, oh, I hope they bring him back, and they did, and it works. Again, it's another masterstroke that they had with these last 2 episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The whole training montage pretty much was just fantastic with the picking up like the ceramic vases, then having to like put down crates and crushing that lizard.
And then he has to shoot the lizard out of the way before putting it down.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they call him a nurse droid, it's just so funny to me to see this killing machine as nurse droid. I thought it was great.
Right.
To nurse and protect.
And I'm really looking forward to next week when we kind of talk about his story arc a little bit more.
I rewatching the episode 7 again. I mean, you got IG-11 in there, but he's very much a backseat character in this episode until the next episode.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's just because you had this overabundance of the other characters. You Grief, you've had Kara, Mando, you have the child. You have a lot more of the child in this one than you do in any of the others.
Well, it's bringing it back to that central focus and the through line of the show. And, they kind of did their 3 episodes of Mando on the run, father-son, kind of odd couple kind of thing. Now they bring it back to this epic Western, space Western, with this through line of him having to protect the child and his sense of honor, sense of duty. And yeah, I don't know how many times I can say it's great and it works, but it's great and it works.
I also love too the misuse of his force powers when Kara and Mando are arm wrestling, and the look on the child's face is like that. Yeah. That's the look of someone who's headed towards the dark side pretty quick.
Taking the Anakin express elevator.
Yeah. He's he's doing it to save the closest thing to a father he's known, because he doesn't understand it's just a harmless game. But it was really interesting because it also brings you back to remember that he does have force powers. You didn't see that a lot in the last 3 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
So
this was the big reveal.
Yeah.
In this episode, right? They moved this episode up so they could have this reveal in time for Rise of Skywalker, because this played a role in that. So you needed to see it before you could put it in the film, Right.
And that was amazing to me because on Friday it was, oh my God, the child, you see what he did? He has force healing. The following Wednesday, Ray can force heal? Fuck this shit.
No one's ever happy.
Mary Sue.
Can I also say, like, this? I mean, I liked Gina Carano as Cara Dune. I really liked her in episode 4. I really liked her in this episode. She, when Mando comes to her, she's like, "Yeah, I can't do it. If I go in there, like, I got all these bounties on me. I can't do it. No, I'm out." She's like, "I'm taking on a Imperial warlord. I'm in."
That's great. This is where they made her cover up her stripes, right?
Yeah. Drop trooper, and plus, like, all of our conversations with Queel about how did you get free of the Empire? He's like, "Nah, I worked for that." You could tell she still has a lot of really hard feelings about the Empire.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. I mean, they both were subjugated by the Empire, one in war and one just in the overall fact that he was a slave to the Empire. And it really was interesting too to have Quill's character be so well fleshed out. Mainly, again, because you're pulling a character whose species was a background character in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
You don't see Ugnaughts anywhere else in any, as far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, in any of the other live-action movies.
I don't believe so.
I think there was like one Ugnaught in an episode of the Clone Wars, or a couple of episodes of the Clone Wars. But could also be Rebels. I know we saw one Ugnaught in one of the animated series, but I think it's live action.
Return of the Jedi Special Edition, when the Death Star blows up and everybody's celebrating.
Yeah,
probably seen Ugnaught there.
There are Ugnaughts in Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a couple that are part of Hondo Onaka's crew that he sort of leaves behind, and he has to go back to.
Right. But in terms of live action, and to flesh out a character like that and give him this tremendous backstory, only to kill him, which it was sad. It was a genuinely sad moment where they just panned to his dead body, and you can also see too that his blurg is also dead behind him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they just
what a payoff for that whole sequence of the chase, essentially, on the blurg with the speeder bikes and everything. Oh man, killed me.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the exchange, shall we? First of all, again, I love seeing the out of the Empire troops. Like, as I mentioned earlier in the intro with the scout troopers. Just, you're on outpost and you're bored.
Yeah.
This is all you're doing is hanging out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love that and you can't see their faces through the armor, but you can tell just how tired and disaffected, how much of this is just a paycheck for me type of job it is for the stormtroopers. You can just tell that in their body language.
Yeah. That guy at the front gate to the town is just like chain code. Look, we've got this chain code.
Yeah.
We give you 20 credits for the helmet.
Right.
In your wall. And I love Werner Herzog because that's his character name. It's just Werner Herzog. I just absolutely love him in this because first of all, he's got just the greatest voice out of any Star Wars character, and that's just the way he normally talks. Just talking about the Beskar and how well it the craftsmanship that went into Mando's armor, and he's just every word that drips out of his mouth is menacing. He was like, "Can I offer you some refreshments?"
Oh yeah, that is the best line in this entire season. So great. I had to look it up just so I could get it right. Can I offer you a libation to celebrate the closing of our shared narrative? I mean, who but Werner Herzog could get that one?
Right.
Could pull it off and make it sound perfectly.
Do you think he says that when he's directing a movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would like to share a libation?
I think over the bank, and you're like, "Let's go." And and we talked about this with Apollo Grief. They just commit to it, and even though it's ridiculous, the acting is superb in many ways, especially with Werner Herzog, because he's so menacing, and it's such a quiet stillness that he has, and that makes him even more terrifying.
Yeah,
and he goes on like a bitch.
Honestly, I bet he says even weirder things when he's at home.
Well, he is the one that convinced them to keep the child as a practical puppet. Do it, you cowards!
What we're saying is we want more of Werner Herzog in Star Wars.
Exactly. I wish they didn't kill him. Also, a nice throwback that they threw a Death Star droid in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tending bar. Do those droids, I mean, I know that there are other versions of protocol droids, so those actually have like a designation.
I could look it up. I'm just choosing not to right now.
Okay. Because I feel like there were like 3 versions of protocol droids. You've got your 3PO, type humanoid units. You've got those. I'm just calling them Death Star droids because that's all I remember them as from the old toys that are essentially like bug-like in face. And then you've got the mix of them, which are like the 4LOM versions or the Zero version from the last episode.
Right.
You know, more that bug type of protocol droid.
Yeah, but the fact that they brought it back, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. They resurrected a lot. In fact, this is the episode that they bring out the troop transport that a 1978 toy from Kenner's Star Wars line that was never seen in the movie.
Perfect. And little Andy rejoiced.
I was so happy. I mean, I remember seeing that on an episode of Rebels and I was excited, but seeing it live action was really cool.
I found it. It's an RA7 protocol droid.
Okay.
Which actually, one of them actually played a fairly large role in at least season 3 of Rebels. Is the inventory droid that was just so, like, kind of sounding vaguely Alan Rickman-ish.
Yeah. Well, there was also the there's like that side story of 3PO prior to Force Awakens and how he got the red arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also that story, by the way, is also featured on Star Wars: The Force Awakens Lego as a bonus scene.
Oh yeah,
and then just became a joke in the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
you probably didn't recognize me.
Red arm.
Can we talk about
that was really cool.
First Legion? Sorry, I would just like to talk about the 501st Legion.
Yes.
How cool is that? How cool would it be for you to just have your own gear and have you've spent years collecting and perfecting this gear, and then hey, you're in the show. How cool is it? It's amazing.
I guess like a whole bunch of them just got the call to show up at this place. You know, they thought it was just like some kind of a charity event or whatever, and then they see Jon Favreau walk out, and they're like. And then he tells them, "Oh yeah, we're actually filming an episode of Mandalorian, and you're all going to be in it."
Right?
Yeah,
that was really
many tears must have been shed.
The whole ambush scene is so the Wild Bunch.
Yeah,
just everything from the big, like the big laser cannons, just everyone having a duck and cover. It was just fantastic. And they also brought back the Death Troopers from Rogue One. There was just so much Star Wars in the Star Wars show. It's
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
It has that emotional resonance that makes you care about it. A lot of the prequel stuff is fun. I don't care about a lot of it, especially Attack of the Clones. I don't care one bit. This makes me care because it was crafted with care and it's stylized in such a way that it makes me just really feel for these characters and their situation. So kudos to them. It was amazing. Plus, you have one of my favorite television actors of all time in Giancarlo Esposito show up in this episode.
Yes.
He's brilliant. He's perfect. Can't say any more about him. He's perfect.
Oh, God. Just watching him come down in that TIE fighter. And I think that was one of the TIE fighters I think that was one of the Inquisitor TIE fighters from Rebels with the collapsible wings.
I don't know if they were that collapsible. Like, I think they went in, not out.
Okay. Cause I have the Rebels prototype that my cousin who worked at Hasbro got for me. And the wings way out or up or in.
I always got to bring up that you got all these special things.
Yeah, I got to do that. But
I got to ride the Smuggler's Run, so whatever.
Hey, I would have been there in a month and 3 days, but come on.
It's an Outland TIE fighter.
Outland TIE fighter. Is that the one that Moff Gideon?
Yep. The personal starfighter of Moff Gideon.
Okay.
So one of the things I thought was cool about that is, obviously I haven't seen all of Rebels. I haven't seen all of Clone Wars. We'll talk about the big teaser at the end of next episode. But in my mind, Moff Gideon is just a regular Imperial officer, right?
Yeah.
He's not a TIE pilot, and he's not a Sith Lord or a sensitive dark side Kylo Ren type person. So to see just a normal Imperial officer be able to fly a TIE fighter was very cool to me.
Yeah. Also, too, his armor was very reminiscent of the TIE pilot armor.
And I mean, like, as we spoke about with Grief Karga and sorry, my cat's trying to get in.
That's okay.
Grief Karga and the Client. Again, Moff Gideon has a very unique way of speaking, but it's not overly dramatic. It's just straightforward to the point. It's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna kill you if you don't give me what I want. It's very. I mean, he's not trying to make himself bigger than he actually is. He just is.
Nobody does cool, calm, and collected villainy nearly as well as Giancarlo Esposito does.
Yeah. And this is from someone that actually hasn't seen Breaking Bad.
Oh man, Mike.
Nah.
You gotta watch it.
Nah.
When he starts to show up in that show, like
he steals it. He just steals every episode. He really does. And I haven't finished watching Breaking Bad. In fact, I haven't watched it in like 7 years because it's like it's gotta be like I'm in the right mood type of viewing, and I'm never in the right mood.
I've seen it 4 times all the way through.
So okay. So you've seen enough for both me and Mike then.
I've seen it both enough for both of you, yes. But you're absolutely right. He is menacing and he is frightening just by standing there. And
right.
I don't know how he does it. I do not know how he does it. But he's perfect casting.
And that's the beauty, is that he doesn't need to yell, he doesn't need to shout, he doesn't need to do all the villainisms that most villains do. Just standing there. And you could tell, obviously you could tell he was a big deal by just the grand entrance that they gave him. But hey, Cat, that Ninja?
Yeah, that's Ninja.
Hey, Ninja.
Yeah, Shadow doesn't climb into my lap. Right?
But the he's so good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they plan on using him in the next season. Or even if they plan on using him in the next season, that could be one of those things where he just kind of goes away for a while.
No, he's already said that he's in the second season.
Okay.
I was actually surprised that it took him this long to show up because I knew he was cast in the show going into it. And then I was just so surprised. I was like, where is he? Where is he?
He was in the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
That's one thing that this show does really, really well, is that it doesn't overuse anything. I mean, hell, even like the child, middle 3 episodes, he's barely in them. So, they're very careful with how much they use everything, not to overdo it.
Yep.
Well, I think going forward with this, when season 2 comes out, then we'll see exactly how much restraint they're going to show on certain aspects of season 1 that worked. Whether or not the child gets a much larger part because he's the breakout of this entire thing. Whether or not they pull back from Mando, even though as far as I'm aware, all of the talk of Pedro Pascal leaving the show is horse shit.
It is.
Yeah, no, it is. I think he's just voicing, which is fine.
No, it came from WeGotThisCovered.com, so that's
true. Well,
horseshit.
If Doomcock can't get it right, then what hope do the rest of us have, right? It's just this episode is just what I wanted. I wanted that great cliffhanger that only made me wait a week for the next one. And again, another reason why I love the fact that Disney Plus didn't roll all these out at once.
Yeah, for as frustrating as that was, it's a in this binging atmosphere, it really made you wait for it and made it all that much better when you got the episode.
It felt like regular TV in that case, because we used to have to do that. We used to have to wait a week in between episodes.
The worst.
Like farmers, like peasants, serfs. And I actually just noticed that because I'm watching The Boys now, that they did it for season 2. They didn't roll out all 8 episodes at one time. And I was just I watched episode 7 last night, and I'm like, okay, bring on episode 8. And wait, what? What?
Yeah, that's why the user score in Rotten Tomatoes tanked. Because all those whiny fanboys are like, oh, why didn't they drop it all at once? I want to watch it.
Yep.
Stupid, isn't it?
So yeah, that was my impressions on The Reckoning. I thought it was a fantastic
kudos to Deborah Chow on this one.
Yes.
Actually, can we see how great Deborah Chow is at this? I mean, she did episode 3, and now with this one, I mean, both episodes are just phenomenal on so many levels.
I was reading about her. I guess she's going to be the sole director for the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, she earned that. She's primarily TV, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. She definitely earns that. And I really feel bad because she doesn't get nearly honestly, anybody who isn't Dave Filoni or Taika Waititi really hasn't gotten the credit they deserve for what they've put into these episodes.
Agreed.
Yeah. So not to take anything away from Taika or from Filoni, but all the directors here were out of their element, quite honestly. All the 3 of them, Bryce Dallas Howard, Rick, I'm never going to pronounce
Rick Famuyiwa.
Rick Famuyiwa and Deborah Chow. This was out of their element, but able to bring them in there and make compelling episodes.
Yep.
Very much so.
So yeah. I love this one. I really love this episode. I can't wait to wrap this up next week.
And what a finale it is too.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go back and watch it again. I've been watching these with Jamie. Actually, he's been really enjoying them.
Yeah, Lily, similar age to Jamie, loved it. Obviously, she loves this, but aside from that, she liked the story anyway.
Yeah,
that's the thing that's really nice about Mandalorian too, is that it does kind of skew a little bit older, but it is still more than enjoyable for all ages.
It's accessible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As Star Wars should be.
Yeah, and it's the nice thing with it too is that it's got the 2 things that everybody loves: Yoda's and Boba Fett's. I mean, that's
you're not wrong.
Feel to it.
Exactly. And if you had to tell a non-Star Wars fan who just knows a few of the characters, it's like you show them Boba Fett, show them a Yoda, and go, "There's a show that's all about this."
Yoda Fett.
Yeah, but I'm just reminded of the meme of the woman holding the dog's mouth. It's just my girlfriend, me, my some friends who ask why Dark Vader is in the Boba Fett show. Gotta stop. Can't say it. Nope. Nope. Boba Fett, what the hell? Sorry.
So what are your thoughts on chapter 7, The Reckoning? Leave a polite comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. Guys, any other wrap-up thoughts about The Reckoning?
Comes up, gives one tail up.
Okay.
Do the
Do
hand. He's gonna eat me.
He's gonna eat me.
So anyway, Mike, Todd, and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check it out wherever you get your podcasts from. Also, make sure that you're subscribed here to get all of our retro reviews, as well as Mike and Joe, another host of Geek Salads, take on My Hero Academia. You guys doing your episode tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
2 episodes. We've been doing them kind of like 2 episodes.
2 episodes of MHA.
Yeah.
I'm not even in the know what I'm calling MHA.
No, you're actually, that's about right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how most people seem to, abbreviate it.
Well, there we go. I gesture broadly towards everything right now. So if you want to follow us on the socials, we are most active on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. We're also on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. Check out our merch store at TeePublic. Don't forget to check out our previous episodes, our retro movie reviews, and our previous podcast. And you got less than a month left. For God's sakes, hashtag vote. Go. I don't care who you vote for. Just get out there. Make your voice heard. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Todd.
Go forth, be nerdful, and this is the way.